Well, it's by Dundonald at Little Loch Broom, just south of Ullapool, that we're about to start climbing arguably one of Scotland's finest mountains.
In Tiamoch, it just means the hearth. And that's the only pronunciation I've ever heard for the ordinary word. In Tiamoch.
We're starting from sea level, which means this is going to be an incredibly hard, relentless slog, because we have to climb up 3,473 feet, or 1,059 metres for all you metric brats. However, it will be worth all those screaming, tearing muscles when we get there and you view the sharp, pinnacled rocky crest that tops the top of Anchellach. In fact, long before Sir Hugh Munro even thought of tabulating this mountain, someone called Thomas Pennant, travelling in Scotland in 1772, wrote of it that it was horrible and awful, with sharp, serrated edges, broken, springing into terrific forms. At least we think he was talking about Anchellach. He may well have been discussing the packed lunch he got from the hotel. And talking of hotels, if you want to be really handy, you can stay at the Dundonald Hotel, which is right at the base of this walk. But if you're strapped for cash, although there's no official campsites, there's lots of nooks and crannies suitable for tents, but ask permission first. All right, it's not that steep, but it is relentless, and the other annoying thing is that craggy, exciting mountain is hiding behind that hill. I only know it's there because I've been here before, so don't get despondent at this stage. Well, absolutely no need for despondency, because you walk alongside a very pretty little burn, and a good place to fill the water bottle, since you won't find any water up on the ridge. Well, it's been a long, hard, possibly dispiriting trudge up here to the Bealach. Hellishly eroded, that path down in the lower reaches. It's like walking through somebody's school dinners. And still no hint of the drama and majesty to come that is Anchellach. In fact, we could be in the borders here or in somebody's field, apart from the fact I'm backed by the magnificent Assynt Hills in the Atlantic Ocean. However, that is the slog over. It's time for the scary bit. Well, not quite yet, all that's still to come, but you do leave the grass and the bog and get your boots onto some good solid rock. Well, as you can see, someone's obviously been given an Arts Council grant to erect these astonishing cairns. I call this one Woman Reclining, right? And this is a very interesting little col beneath the summit of the first Munro. It's fascinating, it's a rock formation that looks almost like a cobbled street. Well, it's actually Torridonian sandstone, but the grey scree you'll find at the top is Cumbrian quartzite. Now, this is the route we're taking so far. The two Munros are marked in white, and the blue shows a top that we'll be taking in as well. Well, we've made it at last to the top of the first Munro, the highest of the two, Bidian Glass Tool at 3,484 feet. It's taken us 2.5 hours to get here. We're rather proud of that. You might scorn it. And one of the reasons I adore Anchellach with a passion, apart from its great beauty as a mountain, are these superb views across the ocean you get. As you can see behind me, the Summer Isle, Stockle to Buoy. And also as far as Grenard Island, now cleared entirely of its anthrax, they say, although I don't see too many caravan or camping parks there. Now getting a view to Sgurfeon, the second Munro, not pronounced Sgurfeon incidentally, but there, stretching in all its glory, is Anchellach's pinnacles. It really is a centrefold of a mountain, a page 3 of a Munro. Well, this is it. The second Munro, Sgurfeon. And if you're just a Munro bagger with no sense of adventure at all, then this is as far as you go. You just tick off the second peak, retrace your steps back down to the car park. And I have to confess that 2 years ago when I first did Anchellach, that's exactly what I did. But not today, because the best is yet to come. We're going the whole way along the ridge. And Ross, our researcher, the man with the beard, tells us that so far it's been an easy hill walking experience. From now on, it's hands-on. first really dramatic pinnacle is called Lord Berkeley's Seat. It's not so frightening from the west side, but it's only by climbing to the top and possibly lying on your stomach to peer over the edge that you'll get any idea of the terrifying cliff you're clinging to. For those not wanting to imitate Chris Bonington, there's a perfectly safe bypass path that means you don't have to go along this precipitous ridge. And after Lord Berkeley's Seat, I'm afraid I've turned into a person of nervous disposition, which is why I'm sticking to it. The reason the camera crew are hanging on to the very edge is very simple. They are dangerously insane. Yes, well that was the idea, but since they had the sandwiches, I'm afraid I had to join them on the pinnacles for the rest of the walk. Well, technically there's another 2 tops to go before you complete this ridge walk, and purists of course will want to do those. However, we're running out of time and we're running out of steam. We want to go home for our dinner. So we've chosen this rather sharp gully to go down, but I should say if you're going to do that, you must take equal care in a gully like this as you do on top of a ridge like that. I know it's exposed dramatic rock, but this can be equally as dangerous. We've been smarty pants and we've left the car about 2 miles away from where we started in the car park, so we don't have a long walk home if we take this circuitous route. But by doing this, what we do is see Anchellach from the Corrie and the loch, which should not be missed if you have the opportunity. It is a bit steep actually. It's much easier to continue the ridge and then descend, but this was Ross's shortcut to get us down off the mountain before dark. Well, that was not very nice, and I wouldn't recommend coming down that gully. So much for a safety officer in the form of a researcher with a beard. Just finish the ridge and come down at the end. But it was fantastic. We came down and treated ourselves to a swim in the loch, which has not been recorded for reasons of modesty. And the best thing is you can stand down here and look back up at the ridge and say, we were there, we did that.